One of the things that I believe that we've forgotten about as adults is the idea of playfulness. Not kind of a surface level humor and a childlike banter, but a sense of playfulness with depth. Let's get it.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumet Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I'm talking about the idea of playfulness with depth. A lot of the times, man, we take life way too seriously. Think back to the 24 hours in your day. Chances are you probably have taken a situation way too seriously. So seriously that maybe you got into an argument with someone, maybe you got annoyed at something, you got frustrated, you got challenged, you got critiqued, something along these lines, right? But when you see playfulness not just as a thing that you do that's childish, but as a tool, but as something that can add more vitality to your life, something that can add much more fun to your life, then you can really start to play with it, right? The whole idea of playfulness is you're playing with it. It's a back and forth. It's a Wii tennis match, okay? You serve something, you get it back. You serve something, you get it back. And this dynamic of action and reaction, this yin-yang potential, and this dynamic, you can think of it as dom and sub and BDSM, or you can think of it as, student teacher in a classroom setting, or you can think of any of these dynamics where you have someone else who has more power and someone who is playing with that power in a sense, and they're willingly giving up their power to play, to have fun with it. This works in romantic relationships, but it also works in a business relationship, or a relationship which is like a personal trainer to someone learning from that personal trainer, right? And so it's important to understand that, as adults, when we think of play, we always think of sex, in a sense. We don't think of just playing with our human bodies. As Ido Portal, allows you to just get into these weird shapes that the body has never even gotten into, because Jaguar can't pretend to suddenly be a human and stand upright and then drink some coffee and do all these things, but we can pretend to be a jaguar and imitate a jaguar's growl, and then the way we can physically, get into that state, into that body. And that's what truly has made us the evolved human, the Flomo sapien, because we are allowing ourselves to get into that play, not on the surface level, not on a superficial level, but playfulness with depth. Depth meaning there's something underneath that playfulness. There's a storyline being formed. There is a majestic quality to it that captivates. There is a sense of playfulness that's so much fun that we can't allow ourselves to just play by ourselves, but we need this kind of camaraderie and this idea of collaboration and co-creation with two people, and we start playing together. Children can immediately have a full-fledged tea party with little stuffed toy animals. That's playfulness with depth, because they're truly allowing themselves to see that imaginative scenario. For us adults, we are very, very cut off from our imaginations because we overstimulate our minds with so much media that we don't allow the creativity to actually emerge from within. So one of the things to do is practice being much more playful and creative just by yourself, just for the fact of you closing your eyes and allowing yourself to think of different scenarios. Maybe you have a very imaginative mind. You have these great ideas, but you're not putting them to use. As an adult, that is what differentiates you from a child. You have playfulness with intent. You have playfulness that is useful, that has value to it. So where can you use that imagination, that playfulness, and that creativity and add value to humanity in some way? Introversion and extroversion can split up the way that you see playfulness. You see, for an introvert, it's all about your perspective. You see the world in different ways, different angles, different scenarios, new insights, a fresh pair of humorous eyes. For an extrovert, you're exploring more of the world. You're exploring so many different scenarios and funny things that you've seen on TV or by talking to people, that you have a reference experience of all of these things that have joke quality. But I would recommend that even if you're an extrovert or an introvert, you combine both of these approaches and you allow yourself to get into that playful quality with both of these worlds, from your perspective and from your exploration. And together, as they merge, you get to that flow state sweet spot with both of them. How can you go deeper than the superficial lens of just making a lame joke at a party somewhere, but make it a part of your lifestyle? You see, that's what differentiates playfulness with depth. Playfulness with depth is it's a part of your character. It's a part of the storyline that is evolving. And people who get to start to know you, they understand your brand of humor through getting to know you. Maybe you have a very sarcastic, dry style of humor, and that works for you. But not everybody's going to resonate with that. But the people who do, they're going to engage in that reality. They're going to embrace that depth with your playfulness. And slowly they're going to start to understand what makes you laugh, what turns you on, what inspires you, what goes on in your mind. You see? Is your humor a little bit more risque? Is your humor a little bit more imitative, like you're imitating voices? I love doing this, right? It's really important to understand that there's different spectrums to this thing, and you can't just kind of go by what is being said. It's not like a joke setup punchline like certain comics have. It doesn't follow any specific kind of structure like that. But notice, if you look at every different comedian, they have their own style. So playfulness with depth is about you confronting the reality through your own pair of humorous eyes. You're able to see the lightheartedness in different situations. You have an ability to push a button in your own internal world and make yourself laugh and self-amuse, and not relying on other people to do that for you. I think it's a great achievement if you can make yourself laugh. A lot of people think that, oh, comedians shouldn't make themselves laugh. But actually, I think that laughter is contagious. And, you know, when I see certain comedians, they're telling the joke and they're embodying that feeling of laughter and playfulness that you just can't help but crack a smile. And that's playfulness with depth. It's emanating off of somebody, right? You see them and you go, oh, that's funny. It's really funny the way they delivered that. I mean, the joke itself wasn't funny, but just their delivery, it's just so perfect. Maybe you're saying something very funny in a very serious way. Contrast is often this funny thing, right? Surprise is often this funny element. So being able to use these things and really incorporating that idea, not just as a party trick, but as a lifestyle, something you build. In your videos, you're being funny, just like that. In your writing, you write in a humorous fashion, in a humorous manner, and there's always a layer deeper that you can explore. That's what I'm talking about when I mention playfulness with depth. Maybe you have this quality, maybe you don't. Maybe you've seen people with this quality. I help people access the flow state, and with that comes this playfulness. So if you want to learn more how to do this, how to be more humorous, more witty, just say jokes on the spot, randomly, make yourself laugh, make others laugh, reach out to me, and let's get coaching one-on-one. Let me help you to embrace this quality, this natural quality, not this forced, like, I need to tell a joke a very specific way, but rather it's just a part of your beingness that you're having fun throughout your day, and you're sharing that fun with others through this lifestyle that you're creating by design, not by default. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang.